Okay, so I'm back now, and here's a 2017 KTM 50 SX Mini. So, one of the easy things to help you guys out is you take the seat off, and then instead of taking all the fairing off, if you need to get the gas tank off, it's super easy. Take the seat off, it's just got a little clip right down here. You twist that off and it comes out. Then if you take this bolt out, it sits right in here like this. Unscrew that. Disconnect your fuel line that's down here going to your petcock. Disconnect that from your carburetor, or from the let me show you guys here. So there's your fuel line right there, and it just goes right into your petcock coming from your carburetor. Don't disconnect it from the carburetor, just disconnect it from the petcock and you'll be alright. Once you do that, take your breather tube out, and the whole thing will just lift right off, just like this. Alright, so there you go. You lift the whole thing off, comes off in one whole section. You do not have to take the fairing off. Alright, so now this is what you're looking at. There's your motor, and right in here is where your stator's at. This up here is your ignition coil. Now you have your wire that goes down into your stator. And then this wire right here, this one goes to your kill switch, which is up here. So if you are having issues with your motorcycle not starting, sometimes the kill switch goes bad. So you want to check that and make sure that that it's not the kill switch before you start getting into this other stuff. And how you do that is you just disconnect it from the connection right here. Just pull that off. And then on the other side is your ground. Your ground is right here. So you just connect those two and you try to start the motorcycle. If it starts, then you got a bad kill switch and you need to get a new one. Alright? If it still doesn't start, go ahead and connect everything back up, because you know that that's not the problem. Alright? So let's go back over to the stator. So the stator's real simple. You just have your Torx heads right here. Unscrew these, and I'm holding the phone while I'm doing this, so bear with me if the video's shaky and stuff like that. There's one. There's three of them. Let's see. So you want to take these three out. Alright, so I'm going to pause this, take these three out, and then we'll kick it up again. Okay, so I took the three screws out. There's one right there, one right there, and then one on the bottom. Take those three off, and you'll be able to pull the ignition cover off right away. It comes off just like that. Alright, now, you're going to have these little things that'll fall out, and these are just guides. Alright, and those go inside the ignition cover, or you can put them inside the actual block itself. So anyway, you got your gasket right here. Try not to take that off if you can help it. Leave it on there. Alright, so then we get down to your stator. There's your stator. You got your wire coming up, which you're going to disconnect from your ignition coil, which is right there, that clip wire. Comes down, goes into there, connects to your stator. Alright, so you have two bolts right there that disconnects your stator. There's one right there, and there's one down there. I don't know if you guys can see that one right there. So one there, and then straight up from the top of it is another one. So you go ahead and disconnect those. You can use an Allen wrench or a bit if you have one. Alright, so I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to disconnect those and show you how that comes off. Okay, so I wanted to show you that you could get that stator off without taking this whole flywheel and everything off. Alright, so you undo those two bolts, the one right there and the one right down there. You undo those two, and then if you just turn it to the left a little bit, bring it towards this pulley right here, turn it, and then take it down, it'll come out. All right, just make sure that you have your wire disconnected from your ignition coil. It comes down. All right, there's going to be a zip tie right there. You can kind of see where the wire was clipped at right there. You have to cut that zip tie because that's where part of your stator coil wire is going to. So once you get that off, make sure that this connection right here coming from your ignition coil is good. Mine was broken, so I repaired that and fixed that. That part goes bad. That little connector right there goes bad with just wear and tear, so I replaced that with a little more heavy duty one. Alright, so that could be an issue too, because it looked like it was connected, looked like it was good, but I took the bolt off and it was broken, so that could be an issue too. Alright, so now all we have to do is put the new stator flywheel back on and we'll be good to go. I'm going to pause it and I'll be back after I do that. Okay, real quick, I wanted to show you that this is the part number that you need. Even though it says 2001 KTM, it's 2001 and up. There's your part number, 451-3900-4000. I got this from Motorsport. It was like 86 bucks. So, there you go. Just wanted to show that to you. Alright, I'm going to install this and then we'll be back. Okay, so now I got the stator in. I just wanted to show you guys that you're able to put it in without taking that pulley off. Alright, so you put it in, make sure you line the holes up. Then you're going to put your wire. It's going to go into this guide right here. Push that in. Make sure it goes all the way in. It's got to be flush with the other side, so it takes a little bit of pushing. Alright, so there's that. Then you're going to run your coil, your stator wire all the way up, plug it in, like so, and plug this into your ignition coil right there. Make sure that that's plugged in good, just like that, right there. Plug that in, alright. Then you're going to connect your kill switch wire, which is these two right here. Just going to connect those two and then button everything back up, put your bolts in. Once you get it in the right position, put those two bolts in. Make sure that your little sleeves are in. Sleeves are these right here. They like to come out right there, so take those, make sure that they're in. Alright, one thing I wanted to note too is on your ignition cover, don't disconnect this tube right here because this tube right here with the clip on it, if you take that off, a bunch of oil will come out. So just leave it on. Alright, you don't need to take it off. Alright, so I'm going to button everything back up. Remember, you got a bolt there for your stator. Okay, this one there, this one here, and then you got these three. 1, 2, 3 down here. Bolt those all together. Make sure your wires are together. The wires going into the ignition coil. And then button everything back up and we'll see what it does. Alright, stay tuned. Okay, one of the other things I forgot to tell you guys, on your ignition cover, you have those 3 screws that I was telling you about. Got the one here, then you got the one right there, and then you got this one. This one right here is shorter than the other two. So make sure that you put this one here, otherwise the bolt won't bolt all the way up against the ignition cover. Alright, so that's just another little extra tip there. You want to make sure if your bolts aren't lining up right or aren't seating all the way, that's because you put the long bolt in the short spot. Alright, cool. Alright, so we got everything all bolted back up. Everything's all together. There's my little helper. Now it's just a moment of truth to see if it runs. I'm out here by myself, so I'll have to turn that water off, Draven. I'll have to start it up, and then I'll come back on and show you guys that it's running. Alright, so stay tuned.